was opened on June 22nd and ran through July 1st. And of those responses, the 4,075 represents that they answered all of the questions on the survey. Important to note, I think, is that the green, this is about how many students did the respondents have in the school system. So the green meant that they had 1, the blue had 2, and the yellow had 3 or more. So when you put that together, that's over 8,000 students that were represented by the responses from the survey. And this shows you the breakdown between elementary, middle, and high. So again, a nice representative. We feel like that the responses that we got will cover all of the different grade bands of our students. This is one of the most important questions I think we asked. If the public health partners believe it's safe to allow in-person instruction in August, will your students return to school? Green was yes, they're certain they'll return for in-person instruction. Yellow said maybe, depending on social distancing and other measures. And the red at 14.5% was that they said no, they were certain they did not want them to attend in-person instruction. Parents were asked if health guidelines prevented schools from returning at full capacity, which they preferred. The yellow represents 5-day remote, so remote learning from home, purely remote. That was 33%. 2/3 preferred a hybrid model, which had part in-person instruction and part at-home instruction. So we proposed a couple of different options in terms of what that hybrid model would look like. As you can see, the yellow and the green were very close together, but the one that you had 3 choices. You gave 3 points to your top choice, 2 to your second, and 1 to your first. That's how these numbers came about. So the one with the highest average was the green one, which was that the students would alternate Monday, Wednesday, Friday at school, Tuesday, Thursday at home, and then alternate the opposite week. So in other words, like an A-day, B-day schedule, going to school every other day and having in-home instruction every other day. The second option was looking at a Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, Thursday. In that model, then Friday would be a virtual learning for everybody. So this would be 2 days at school for all students with 1 virtual for everybody. So 3 virtual really for everybody. And the last one, the red one, was alternating a week on and a week off, and that was not as popular with the parents. Okay, asked about transportation. If transportation was limited, would parents be able to get their children to school? 2/3 said yes, and 1/3 said that would be a problem, that they would need transportation provided by the district. We asked the parents how they had felt about being prepared to help their children with distance learning. 30% said very prepared, 49% somewhat prepared, and 21% not prepared at all. So there's definitely, our parents had some concerns about being ready to support their children with distance learning. We asked if parents were concerned if their child would be prepared academically for this upcoming school year. 34% said not concerned at all, about 47% somewhat concerned, and 19% very concerned. So we do see some parent concerns about preparation. We asked about the availability of devices at home. Do you have a device other than a phone? Do you like a computer, a tablet, an iPad, and do you have internet access? And almost 78% of our students, that was a yes. They do have internet access and a device at home. We had the red said that the only access they had to the internet was on the phone and they didn't have another device. So in other words, 16.5%, the phone is all they've got for internet or a device in the house. And then the yellow, they had another device but have internet. The only access to internet would be on the phone. We did a survey to see what kind of devices they had. They could answer more than one response on this, but we saw that 3,000 respondents said that there is a computer in the home. Another 1,800, there were tablets, and then iPads, Chromebooks, and then other. And in that other category, several people listed laptop or MacBook. I think they were not thinking of a laptop as a computer, but thinking of it something differently. So there's a little bit more actually in that computer category. But the vast majority of the device they had in that other category was just a cell phone. This question, though, asked if there was a different device for every student in the home, because we did hear some concerns about multiple students in the house and maybe only one device to be able to do their schoolwork on. And we see that here that's a little bit more of a concern. There's 56% that have a device for every child, but 44% do not have one for every child. The last question asked if they had any suggestions or comments, and we had about 3,000 comments, and we read through them all. And we tried to classify them and categorize them so we could see what was the overwhelming thing that the parents wanted us to hear. The top one, there were 342 comments left asking us to please get schools reopened for in-person teaching. Next, 335 comments asking us to please take into consideration the health and safety of students and staff. There were 241 comments about the concerns about technology at home, asking for computers or internet help. A lot of concerns, over 200, about concerns for working parents, in particular in the alternating days schedule when parents have to work full-time. We had 186 that asked for a fully virtual option, to have an option to not have to come back for in-person instruction. And there were 142 concerns about masks, and I think that was 71 concerns to have them and 71 concerns to not have them. It was split right down the middle. Social distancing, 110 comments on that. And as for consistency in communication, by consistency, we had lots of different platforms that were used in spring. Even amongst just individual students, parents had, if they had more than one teacher, more than one platform to keep up with. And a better communication system for teachers to be able to communicate with the parents and the students. Cleaning and sanitation was also a concern, and there were 51 comments of concerns of their students falling behind. So those are the results that have come back from the parent survey.